Wizards of the Coast has just revealed the newest wave of Streets of New Capenna spoilers, and I have had a major realization. I'm starting to hate this set.
Magic. I am a wizard! History. I'm an old wizard! The magic historian. My bones hurt.
Greetings, owners of fine luxury cardboard rectangles. My friends, I hope the day finds you well. We have gathered to discuss my absolute disappointment with Streets of New Capenna. I'm genuinely starting to hate this set, and that surprises me. When Kamigawa came out, I thought I wasn't going to like it, but I ended up enjoying it. The reverse happened here, where when Streets of New Capenna hit, I was actually right into it. But the further we've gone along, the more frustrated I have found myself. So, I want to go over some of the issues that I have with the set and how I believe that this is bad for the long-term health of the game. Now, ultimately, I genuinely need to rant about this as well, so I'm going to be doing a full-on rant stream over on my Hatcher channel, and the language will be, let's say, interesting, right? So if you come by, leave your kids. Anyways, let's dive into the issues that I have with Streets of New Capenna, and they were highlighted to me actually by a couple of different spoiler cards. Before we dive into the spoiler cards, I just want to talk about the overall flavor of the world of New Capenna in terms of the way characters are depicted on cards, because there is a lot of sameness. It's suffering from the same issue that Innistrad suffered from over time. As we kept returning to Innistrad, they would keep bringing out more and more Cathars, and all the Cathars started to look exactly the same. Well, New Capenna starts that way right out of the gates, where everybody is dressed like me. Everybody has a little jacket on, and nice vests and coats, all that kind of stuff, right? But they all look the same. It takes away a distinctive nature that kind of really would make particular characters feel special, right? So you've got that kind of blandness across, and obviously you want a level of uniformity in the artwork to give the world its flavor, but I genuinely feel like it's too much, right? And obviously, when it comes to looking at a wizard, wizards don't really look like this, so you have that flavor disconnect. Now, if wizards have put a ton of effort into building New Capenna, then I could really understand it and give it more leeway in that regard and go, okay, you know what? I would like more variety in art, but at least they have some deep flavor and a good story for the world, like they put in genuine effort. But it really doesn't come across that way. Funnily enough, one of the spoiler cards we're going to talk about, Endless Detour, is what New Capenna feels like to me, right? So let's talk about the card first, then we'll talk about the actual Endless Detour nature. So, 1 green, 1 white, 1 blue for an instant that says the owner of target spell, non-land permanent, or card in a graveyard puts it on the top or bottom of their library. So this is some pretty versatile card design. Obviously, you can use it to get your own resources back on top of your deck if you need to use them again. Most of the time, you're going to use this to hose your opponent's spells or non-land permanents, but you get a decent bit of power from this card. It can handle a number of issues. The flavor text says, after driving around the 11th construction barrier, the taxi driver began to suspect she was being herded into a trap. And honestly, I feel like we're being herded along through the world of New Capenna, right? The story is incredibly bare bones and isn't consistent with the actual set itself as well. You have some really confusing elements going on, right? The story is ultimately about Elspeth understanding and learning about her underlying angelic nature, but the story is abysmal and nonsensical. Wizards of the Coast basically ignored the second Theros story altogether and reverted to the original Theros story, and the way they got Elspeth onto the world of New Capenna was to have a Johnny tell her it's her homeworld. And this part I found to be really aggravating, because if you look at it, it's absolutely insane. A Johnny knows imagine, just think about Earth being your homeworld, your home plane, but you don't know you're from Earth. And you meet somebody else who is a world traveler who's like, yo, you're from Earth. But they don't tell you you're from Earth. They tell you you're from the world that New York City is on. That's it. That's all that they tell you, because that's what a Johnny tells Elspeth. Doesn't tell her the plane, just tells her New Capenna. The same thing as saying you're from New York City. So then Elspeth goes to New Capenna and just goes to the city. It's like if you were told you're from the world of Earth and you're only going to inspect the city of New York. Well, I know it's this gigantic place, but all the answers I need are located right here. And it's because they didn't want to bother developing the entirety of the world. And they dangle this doomsday prophecy in front of us without bothering to fill it out. None of the characters that they make in terms of in the story and the cards actually line up, right? So you have a bunch of flavor disconnect there where they didn't bother to put in the effort to make the story actually flow properly. They didn't give Ob Nixilis any motivation whatsoever. He's just there. And it's like, bro, if this planeswalker showed up on the plane and wanted to take over the crime families, he would just do so. Not take low-level grunts while hanging back and chilling, drinking Halo. And speaking of Halo, Wizards of the Coast wants to have it both ways. They want to pretend like, hey, you know what? This stuff is for kids. Magic's for kids. Yeah, we can't actually sell it to anyone under 13 and have to print 13 plus above it. And yes, we want this Halo to clearly be an adult beverage. But at the same time, when you're doing it at the pre-release and whatever else, don't put it in any drinks don't put the drinks in any containers that look like an adult beverage. Meanwhile, we are going to depict adult beverages on our cards, have bootleggers. It's so insulting where they basically just go, oh no, it's nothing to do with any of that. Yes, it is. But you don't have the guts to say it anymore because you're just a tool of Papa Hasbro. We make kids' toys, but we got an adult edge to this stupid mobster set. We don't put in any effort. Let me show you the most aggravating. Okay, calm down. Let me show you the most aggravating thing. I'm going to try and keep the ranting for the stream because I'm picking up steam. Whack! Okay, look at Whack. This card makes me so mad on multiple levels. 1 black and 3 for a sorcery. It says this spell costs 3 less to cast if it targets a white creature. Target creature gets -4/-4 until end of turn. So, we've got a mobster set. We've got Whack, one of the cards that everybody's going to be waiting for. Whacking is when you take somebody out. I mean, it better be. I don't want to talk about other definitions. So, when you whack somebody in the mobster sense, you end them, right? That's the idea. Except here's the thing. Whack, a spell that absolutely positively should just destroy target creature, hands down, because it's very clear that's what it should do. It gives -4/-4. That's a nice vanilla 3/5 ox you have over there. It's a shame that I can't whack it. Too bad I can't whack your goat. Your ox has too much toughness. It doesn't make any sense. And even more aggravating about this is basically what you need to understand about Wizards and the way they design things is when they have one-word names, they try and reserve them for powerful cards. This has been talked about in the past where they go on about there are only so many words in the English language. Some of them are very powerful, and when you can have a punchy short word that conveys a concept all by itself, they reserve those and try and use them effectively. And when you take a look at Whack, you can see they just didn't care. They wanted to make a mobster set. They wanted to milk people who wanted the mobster stuff, forced it on the rest of us who just wanted regular Magic, and now, after going to the lengths of trying to draw in the mobster crowd and forcing this on us, you're not even going to bother to put in the effort to make Whack do what everybody thinks it would do. So you're telling me I can whack a whole bunch of creatures in Magic and they will survive? Well, that makes perfect sense in a... Whoa, let's calm down. That makes perfect sense in a mobster set, doesn't it? So you can see that Wizards of the Coast is clearly putting in the care for the story and the card design for Magic to have longevity. And there's definitely nothing to be concerned about with the long-term health of the game because they're not ignoring previous stories and writing half-finished tons of loose end stories and not bothering to make sure things line up like, oh, the angels come back to New Capenna. Oh, they do they? And you don't even put one sentence at the end of the story. Why? Because you don't care about us as customers. You don't care about making sure things line up. You're too busy making 12 different versions of Gallagreeters so you can go, hey guys, we got box stoppers, even though box stoppers means 20 different things, and this is going to confuse people and probably just look like a buy a box promo to half of them because we haven't announced a buy a box promo. Capenna is a greedy mess. designed on trying to milk people off of a concept and put as little effort to it as possible. And I personally find it incredibly insulting. And at this point, it's 100% fair to judge the set, because tomorrow's just going to be the garbage common dump, where at the end of spoiler season, Wizards goes, here's all the crap you're going to get in packs that doesn't matter because it's trash. So unless you're somebody who plays draft, here's all the garbage that's going to be crammed into your pack, so we can keep trying to get you to buy more and more of this stuff in a game we've rigged against you, and we don't even care to put effort into making the cards that we're going to overcharge you for. It's absurd, and I am incredibly annoyed. So I am off to do my rant stream over on my Hatcher channel so I can get this out of my system and move on with my day. If this energy was uncomfortable for you, well, sorry friend, you're the one who stuck around to the end. You choose when you check out, all right? So, you want some more anger? Head on over to Hatcher. You want a more chill time? Maybe go over to Fantasy Geographic, where we're just enjoying some magic stories. Up to you. Anyhow, big shout out to my patrons, and I am off to rage.